Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I have another spread to share with you. This is a Project Life spread, and this is the January 2014 spread of my album. I apologize for my froggy voice. I'm still kind of getting over my allergy issues, but I did want to go ahead and record this so you could see what I've got going on here. I believe this ends up being like one of my favorite Project Life spreads that I've made maybe ever. I really like it. I really like how my title card turns out. It is like my favorite card, my favorite Project Life card. It came from an LE Studio kit, I believe. I'm pretty positive it did. A lot of things on this spread actually come from the LE Studio products that I've gotten here recently, which I am totally loving and enjoying. If you haven't checked out LE Studio, I highly suggest it. They have a lot of options. The quality of their photos the quality of their products is really good. The cards are pretty thick. They are single-sided, but the cards themselves are extremely thick and just really easy to work with, and I really enjoy that. So I've got a couple different photos. The bottom right photo is of a family game night where we were playing Uno, which is why I am going to attempt to use that Uno card. I also have the bottom left photo where Kaylin is helping me clean, and I'm going to kind of rotate a little bit of where these are laid. Like the bottom two are going to be flipped around. And then the middle row in the 3x4 pockets, I have two photos of Kaylin with headphones on, and he loves headphones, like loves headphones. So he loves listening to music. He's always dancing in the car or playing the air guitar or air piano. Excuse me. So I wanted to include that. And then the top right photo is where I have Kaylin and Jaheim helping me cook. We were making dessert, like dirt cups, where you take Oreos and crush them up and make like little dirt pudding cups. That's what we were making. So they were having fun with that. So I go through all of the Project Life cards that I pulled out. There were a couple of Me and My Big Idea cards, which is what this family card is. There were a couple crepe paper cards, I believe, or from a cut apart sheet from crepe paper, and a few other things. So when I put out my title card for this week, I really like the colors, and that ends up kind of changing my mind about some of the other things that I have on here. So I'm definitely going to stick with this title card, but then I start kind of changing other things. And I'm just using that Details Please card to help me make sure the other cards are cut the proper size. It just helps to make sure they fit in the pockets a little bit more smoothly. So the happiness card got shifted over, and it's going to be taken out here shortly, but I'm looking for things in the red, pink, and teal tones, which is where I got that family card. It was a 4x6 card, and I cut it apart. And so it just says, what makes our family? And then I put a journal on it, and then I'm going to put love us at the bottom. So it's kind of like so in my head I was thinking what makes our family us is, and then I kind of write it out. And I'm looking through this is my big Project Life box, and I just pull out a couple other cards, and I'm just kind of flipping through here to see what I have. I believe these are the Me and My Big Idea family pack, I believe is what this is, because I see different things about like father, brother, mother, family. So I think that's the family set as well. That's the same set that 4x6 card came from. So I'm just kind of flipping through, trying to figure out what I want to use. And then I'm going to come across a couple of things here shortly, and I'm going to change my mind and go back to my Project Life box and pull out a Ali Edwards. I'm pretty sure it's Ali Edwards. It's a Technic Tuesday story cards. I'm pretty sure that's Ali Edwards. Yeah, I'm pretty positive that is Ali Edwards. So I'm going to pull that out because it has the red and the white colors. But I am trying a bunch of different ones first. By the way, that card that says Details Please, that is a LE Studio card. This layout took me almost 2 hours. These are those Technic Tuesday cards. And it says, remember this. So this layout took me 1 hour and 42 minutes. I think I was so slow because I was really just taking my time. I was really paying a lot of attention to detail. I was really looking to see, what do I want to add? Is there anything that I want to make sure to include? Are the colors coming together for me? And I am so incredibly pleased with how it turns out in the end. But it took me a while to get there. It definitely took me a while to get there. how this layout started and how it ended looked totally different. I'm still working on the quality of my photos, and these photos are from almost 2 years ago at this point, so it takes me a while to kind of catch up with my project life and with my scrapbooking, but as I get further and further into it, you're going to see that my photos get better and better. Part of it is camera quality, part of it is paying attention more to what the photos are that I am taking, and some of it is just being a little bit more selective about the photos I use as well when I print my photos. So this card said this week, and if you've watched my videos, I don't do weekly spreads. I do monthly spreads. I do a 2-spread layout for the month, kind of like a beginning page and an ending page, and then I put any 12 by 12 layouts for that month in the middle of those 2 pages in my scrapbook. Or in between, not in the middle, but in between those 2 pages. So I'm changing that title from this week to this January. And I'm just using these gray tile letters to spell out January. They are from a We Are Memory Keepers archive collection pack, I believe. And it came on a 12 by 12 sticker sheet. I just cut out the alpha part of it so I could just pull out when I want to use it. And then I cut the other like tabs, or I think is what they were. I cut those out separately. So I'm just going to layer this over this week, and so it's just going to say this January, and it looks fine. You can't even tell that it's kind of pieced together. It really flows very nicely on here. And then I'm going to add a couple of thickers that say 2014. I'm trimming this card down because I'm going to mat it on my white cardstock. So I always do my Project Life spreads with 4x6s in the corners. And I mat those on white cardstock, partially because I print on with a white border, and partially not. So I just ordered my photos, and I don't think I chose to, well, the last order I just did, I don't think I chose to mat the photos on white cards, like have a white border, which is fine because I can trim them down and mat them on white if I choose to do so myself. But I prefer to print them with that white border if I remember. It's been almost 3 or 4 months since I've ordered, so I think I forgot to do that when I just recently ordered. And I ordered photos for a specific project that I'm going to do in December, so I didn't order a ton. I think I ordered like 40 photos. It wasn't like 300 like I normally would. So it's not a huge deal that I forgot to do the white border. I will remember to do that on the next order, and then I'll get back in the habit of it. What I'm going to start doing is I think I'm going to start printing photos either every week or every other week for the current month, and then start catching up on an old month as well. So I just sat down tonight and planned out what my pages were going to look like for August and September of my 2015 album. But I also just printed the April 2014 photos in my order that I did last week. So I'm doing a little bit of old and a little bit of current. That way I can really start to catch up. I have certain months where I do more layouts than other months. October is a big month for us in my scrapbook album. Also, July is usually a big month because we do vacations in those months and we have a lot of things going on. And December is a big month because we have Kaylin's birthday and Christmas. So those months are usually take me a while to complete, whereas other months like August, really I have just back to school pictures and whatever else happens. Not much going on in August for us. So I think I only have like the Project Life spread and like 2 other 12 by 12 layouts, and that's it. So those will be pretty easy to catch up on. I'm just kind of creating different embellishments to go here on this layout. I cut a banner shape out of that smile tag, and I layered a piece of white cardstock on top of this like chalkboard looking label, and I'm just going to use that. I wanted a touch of black, but I really didn't want it to be really bold black, so I'm using that to help me, tone down that black a little bit. And what I'm doing, I'm using the small alpha stickers. It was too far over when I put them right beside each other, so this just says helping mom clean. He was really insistent on helping me clean the tile grout. I was just sitting on the ground like scrubbing the tile grout, and he was extremely insistent about helping, so by all means put the boy to work. And I used the little cut off piece that I had from the edge of the top left card to do a border strip at the bottom of this one. I try to use any cut off pieces, just like I had cut off the corner of that chalkboard tag or label, and I layered it right under that smile banner. As you can see, the layout's starting to come together, and I'm truly loving the way this thing's looking. I'm extremely excited about it, and I just couldn't wait to share it with you guys. I was so excited when I did it. I actually left it sitting out on my desk for a few days so I can kind of just admire it. I probably should have waited to do this voiceover, but I really wanted to get it up for you guys. I hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving holidays. I know I am. This is actually a little bit before that, so not quite Thanksgiving yet, but, by the time you see this, it will be. I think anyways. Yeah. This should be Thanksgiving Day, I think, when this goes up. Oh, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope everything's going well. We always enjoy so much time with our family. I spend the Thanksgiving with my in-laws, and we spend Christmas with my family, so it's always really nice. We don't have to argue about where we're going or even really discuss where we're going for Thanksgiving. We know exactly where we're going. It's nice to have kind of a standard pattern that you do. Okay, here's where I pulled out these stickers, and I'm adding the 2014 just to this top card. I didn't want to really cover up any of the red, but I really like the way that the contrast of the 2014. It looks a little bit kind of like a, what do you call that thing when I can't think of it. It's like where your eyes play tricks on you with the diagonal stripes. It looks like that on the camera, but it doesn't look like that in person at all. I don't think you can see the depth of the letters, the chipboard letters on the camera screen, whereas in person you can, and it really makes them stand out. So I had this sticker that said, "I love you," and it was in a banner. And so I cut off the banner ends, and I just kind of like cut a diagonal on the sides and made it a tag. And then I took my, what do you call that? Crocodile, I think, and punched a tiny hole there and just made a tag. I tied a bit of twine around it. I'm going to mat my photos on white paper. I just use single-sided scrapbook paper whenever I am looking to mat photos like this in Project Life. I don't necessarily need the extra bulk of like 110-pound cardstock, and it works perfectly fine to have the white border just be white, and it doesn't matter how thick the paper actually is. So I like to use single-sided scrapbook paper. A lot of, or at least I do anyways, I have a lot of scrapbook paper from back in the day where I got really cheap paper at Michael's, and I'll probably never, ever, ever use it. So this is a great way for me to use it without having to throw it away. I'm just using the back side of it. So I took that really thin silver washi tape, and I kind of created a little bit of a line, an underline under that "I love you" tag. And so that completes that card. And I layered a little bit of a doily there. I am going to put another piece of doily somewhere else on this layout, just to kind of tie in that other part of there. Now, I swear the whole time I'm sitting here doing this voiceover, obviously I'm working, but I swear this layout took me a really long time to complete. I like using all the little bits and pieces that I cut off, so I just layered a bit of that washi tape on the edge of that family card, and then added a little offcut again from this top card right there as well, just to bring those colors down there. And then this is where I'm using the extra little bit of that doily, just to kind of add a tad bit to this top left card. And then I'm adding a small little bow that I'm tying with a bit of the gray embroidery floss that I had left after tying my little tag on the "I love you" tag or sticker. So I'm just going to make a little bow here and glue it into that little bottom right corner of that card. And once it goes in the page protector, it won't move around. I kind of fiddle with it when I'm getting it in the page protector to make sure that it lays flat and looks nice. But once it's in there, it's not moving, so we're good. Okay, now I'm trying to figure out what to do with this top right card, because these are brothers, and I knew I had a little family vellum like sentiment set. But there's nothing in there about brothers. I had sisters and a couple other things, but that was about it. So I'm going to keep flipping through here, see what I can find, look to see if there's anything up here. What I'm basically looking for is something to put a little bit of journaling on, but that's also a bit decorative. And in the process of doing this, I decided to kind of flip through this, I believe it's Dear Lizzie sticker book, and I find a little bit of a heart. Not a heart, a little bit of a ticket that I put on that details please tag, and it just brings a bit of that hot pink here. So I have this little, like, it looks like house plans layout type of thing, like a drafting type of thing, in the right teal. So I cut a little bit off the corner of it, and what it is it's the grid part where you would write your notes. So I cut that part off. I'm going to use that as my little journaling tag. Before I actually do the journaling, though, I cut a bit of this dark gray arrow or chevron ribbon, and that's going to kind of layer right under the photo, and it just adds a little bit of a border. It makes the bottom of that photo a little bit heavier. It just adds a little bit of depth and texture to that card. I'm jumping around here, and I think it's because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, so I'm kind of jumping around a bit to see, add a little bit here, add a little bit there, just trying to see what looks the best, but it also flows well together. So I take a couple little things. I have a bit of a tag that was not a tag, a little bit of a journaling spot that was left over from another layout. I have a ticket that says number 1, and then I also take out those round letter stickers and write the word Uno. So it's going to say number 1 Uno, and then I'm going to put family game night on this photo. Just matting it on a piece of cloud paper from the 6x6 pad, and that's the cut and paste My Mind's Eye pad. And then this is where I layer those other things, and then I can just trim it off and still use it. And this card is done down here at the left. It took me so long to work on all the bits and pieces of the different cards, but that I never really got any of them done. But once I get the words family game night down, this card will be done. So the top left card is done. The bottom right card is done. The bottom left card will be done. And then I'll start working on the 3x4s in the top right card. I don't have much to do at this point for the top right card, but I don't think I had totally settled on exactly what I wanted to do at this point. So it's still, a little bit up in the air here. And I'm just going to speed this up slightly until you don't have to watch me fiddle with these letters. All right, so that card is totally done. It says family game night. And then I just kind of re-lined up all my other cards to kind of just settle my mind a little bit. I get a little bit messy when I make these Project Life cards especially. And I think it's because it's like you have 8 little mini layouts instead of one big layout. And so, I pull out a lot of supplies. So I just wanted to clean up just a tad. And then I'm going to continue on with the rest of the layout. So I wanted to just make sure that would fit into the page protector with the ribbon on it, and I ended up having to trim just the slightest, like less than 1/16 of an inch type of thing off the edge of that card to make sure that it still fit. Now I'm going to layer it on a piece of this vellum, and it's just to add a tad bit more to the photo. I didn't want a real colorful or heavy border around the photo, so this vellum is perfect as an option. And then I am going to take a bit of this gray embroidery floss and just kind of loop it around this journaling spot. And that's just to bring the embroidery floss to a third point in this layout. I have it on the title card, on one of the 3x4 cards, and then in this upper left card. And so what it says is, the boys made dirt dessert cups. Can you see the crumbs on Kaylin's face? They loved it. And I have another little tiny bit of this offcut of the title card. And I'm going to again bring it here. Like I mentioned, I don't like throwing things away. I like being able to use every little tiny bit that is cut off. And so that's exactly what I do. I try to leave it out on the table or with my kit. as I make the layouts. So, I can try to use those little bits up. I should show you my little trash bin. I use it and it probably takes me 4 or 5 layouts before I even have to throw it away. And it's mostly just because what's in there is mostly like cuts off where I trim my photos, or I trim, the edge of a card because it's not even, or the backs of of sticker, like die cut stickers. So usually I have very little trash. I should actually show you guys, because it's kind of interesting that I can accumulate so little but make 4 or 5 layouts without having that much trash involved, which is also fantastic because I don't waste anything. I use as much as I possibly can. I'm definitely one that loves my stash, but I utilize my stash all the time. If I don't, then, what's the point of me having it? If I'm going to constantly rely on new products to come in the mail, then, I'm kind of defeating the purpose of keeping a stash. That's my thought anyways. No, I'm not like ragging on anybody at all that gets subscription kits, because I think they're wonderful, and I'm actually going to start getting one in January. But I think it's also extremely important to use your stash. Okay, I added an ampersand sticker here, and this is from I believe it's Dear Lizzie sticker book. And then I just mounted the photo on some vellum. And then I'm going to put, and he loves his music. So it has the and ampersand sign. And so I'm just going to write with these little tiny letter stickers, he loves his music, right under that. Not he loves his music, but he loves music. I should have put his music. These little Tim Holtz stickers are fantastic. They come in extremely handy. However, my only complaint would be put more S's in there. I need more S's because I don't have any S's left at all, I believe. So this is why I'm, trying to use this as much as possible, because I'm going to get a new one, but I'm not going to buy a new one when I still have the other one used less than 50%. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep these until I use them up at least majority of the ways. So that card is complete. So we have our 4x6 cards and one 3x4 card, or 2 3x4 cards that are complete. So I only have 2 more 3x4 cards to finish. Just a few minutes here for you. And this is where I'm going to put that Love Us that I mentioned earlier. I like these simple story stickers, but they're kind of difficult to finish off the entire pack, because you get to a point where you can have no letters like ever at all to make. So this is what happened. You do sticker surgery whenever you run out of letters. And I was just looking to see what was that I did. Well, I had an F and I made it into an E at the end of love. But boy, you really can barely tell, even in person. I had to stop it and look at it. But just finishing off the journaling. So this left card says, this month keeps getting colder and colder, so we've stayed in a lot, sitting by the fire and playing games. And the details please card is going to say, who, the Rayner family, what, finding things to do inside, games, cooking, marbles, etc. When, January 2014. Where, Raleigh, North Carolina. Why, because we love to have fun. And this is going to complete my layout. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this layout. Also subscribe so you can see the other layouts that I post on here on a regular basis. Thanks for joining. Bye, guys.